Free and unfettered, I flow. Past narrows and waterfalls, I pour down broad valleys. Grit and gravel accompany me on my course for long distances, and many life forms call me home.
Giving the river itself a voice is such a narratively compelling idea here, because instead of just having a bunch of scientists just speak to the camera or specialists speaking to the camera, we get a point of view here that feels so direct and immediate. It makes the words carry even more significance. The voice work here also deserves a lot of credit and accolade because it adds to the importance of the message. The severity and urgency of the message is all laid out so clearly in the impressive voice work as well.
I really liked how poetic the narration is, and the script was really well written. I love that it's from the perspective of the rivers and the bodies of water, talking about how they just want to, be the earth's lifeblood and continue flowing, only to be stopped by a man-made intervention. So I thought it had a very strong case there as to why we should, lay hands off on nature's bodies of water and its rivers and let it flow as it should. The voiceover performance in this film is especially strong, um, easy to listen to. I love hearing from that perspective, and I thought he did a really great job with that. Um, Overall, the writing was what was shining in this film, and I thought the script was really strong. But yeah, I enjoyed this perspective, and it was a really beautiful film. I haven't even mentioned the gorgeous shots of the water and the nature and the bodies of water, natural landscape. All the cinematography and all that was also really gorgeous and beautiful to see.
Really fantastic underwater cinematography. The whole cinematography of all of this was just absolutely gorgeous. I loved it. The VO was really well paced, great emotion. It drew you in, it kept you engaged throughout all of this. I thought that this film was really moving, no pun intended, and beautifully done.
It's a very call to action piece for better practices environmentally. You have dams and blockages, that man-made obstacles that are blocking the flow of water, and these obstacles are really serving no real purpose, which is obstructing the free flow of water. So we get to see the satisfaction of the changes made when these obstructions are removed, and we get to see the beautiful shots featured in here of water and surrounding nature. Um, and you also get to see sort of the what the water looks like when it is free flowing and what it looks like when it is obstructed. So you can definitely see the stark difference. So it's definitely a passionate plea from the water itself.
I loved their choice of framing it from the water's point of view, framing it as if the water is talking to us. I loved it. I think that a lot of the time, especially when it comes to nature films and films about nature, obviously it's kind of through the lens of how humans are interacting with nature a lot of the time, or how we're trying to correct something that has been done in the past, as far as what humans have previously done and how we're trying to work that back and things like that. I feel like that's the perspective a lot of the time, which obviously does rely heavily on trying to improve nature, things like that, but all of that is still framed of the like human interacting with nature perspective, not necessarily the nature itself and what their perspective would be, which obviously we have to kind of take as like what we think their perspective would be. But I absolutely loved that concept. I loved it. I thought it was so great. I thought it was really, really, really powerful and really, really striking to have it framed as the perspective of the ocean, of the water itself, and what the water would want, what nature itself would want.
I like the idea of writing and voiceover from the perspective of the river as if it were like living. because it kind of is in a lot of ways. It's clever and well done and a great pitch for people to understand, you know? I think that it's effective is what it is because it like puts us it helps us connect, you know? Because how do you connect with a river? If you give a river a voice, it's easier to connect with a river. So I think the idea and the overall pitch was really well done. I also like the shots. Those are some shots that don't belong on Planet Earth on Netflix. They belong in Nat Geo. They're all great.